Hey guys, today we are going to do a couple of challenge problems using the Pythagorean theorem. So first, you are wrapping a gift box with the dimensions shown. So it's 12 inches long, 9 inches wide, 2 inches tall. And you want to tie a ribbon around the box as shown. And as you wrap the ribbon around the box, wherever the ribbon intersects an edge, like here, 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 and so on, its distance to the nearest corner is 1/3 the length of that edge of the box. Not counting any extra ribbon needed for tying it, how long must the ribbon be? So we need to find each length of ribbon going around this box. Okay, so we've got one here on the front that matches one on the back. So if I find this length, I've got this one. So I've got front and back, and then I've got here across the top and here across the top, and then the two across the bottom will match those. So I've got 4 of that length, and then I've got the left and right sides. Okay, so let's start with the front and back. Okay, so the length of ribbon covering the front and the back. Okay, so where it intersects the edges, here and here, is 1/3 the length of this side from that edge. So if this edge is 12 inches, 1/3 of that is 4, which means there's 4 inches here and there's 4 inches here. Okay, so how much does that leave for right here? It leaves the other third, so there's 4, 4, and 4. Okay, now I'm going to turn this into a right triangle here. And I know that this side is 2 inches, so that means this right here is 2 inches. So I can do 4 squared plus 2 squared equals c squared. Okay, so 4 squared plus 2 squared, that's 16 plus 4, that's 20. So 20 equals c squared, and we do the square root. Now this is a real-world example dealing with measurements, so we are going to get an approximate answer for this. Okay, so the square root of 20 is, and we'll keep 2 decimal places, 4.47. Okay, now that's for the front and the back, so that means this is 4.47, but this is also 4.47, so I have 2 of those, so I'll multiply that by 2. And I get 8.94. Okay, so 8.94 inches covers the front and the back. Okay, now let's work on the top and bottom. Okay, so top and bottom, there are 4 of those. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 that are all the same length. Okay, so we'll deal with this one right here. So I know this is a right angle, and I've got a 4 here, and then this intersection is 1/3 the length of the side away from this corner. The side is 9, 1/3 of that is 3. Okay, so I have 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. Okay, so that's 9 plus 16, that's 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. And there's 4 of those. 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. So there's a 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, and then this dotted side right here is also 5. So there are 4 of those, and that's a total of 20 inches. Okay, so the last thing that we need then is the left side and the right side. Okay, so I'll use this one over here. These intersections with the edge are 1/3 the length of the side away from the corner. The side is 9, so that means this is 3, and that means this is 3, and that means this is 3. And this I know is a height of 2 inches. So I've got for the left and right, I've got 3 squared plus 2 squared equals c squared. Okay, so that's 9 plus 4, which is 13. And then the square root of 13 is 3.61. Okay, and there's the left and the right, so there's two of those. Okay, so times 2 is 7.21. So there's a 7.21 here, and then this right here is 7.21. Okay, so for the front and back, I have a total of 8.94. For the top and bottom, I have a total of 20. And for the left and right, I have a total of 7.21 for a total of 36.15 inches. So that's how much ribbon I need, plus some extra, so I have enough to actually make the knot. Okay, next, a cube-shaped bead has a length, width, and height of 2 centimeters. Okay, so these are 2 centimeter cubes. A hole is drilled through the bead diagonally from one corner to the opposite corner farthest away from it. How many beads must be strung together to form a length of 5 feet, knowing that 1 inch is about 2.54 centimeters. So we have a cube-shaped bead. Okay, so it looks about like this. And the hole is drilled diagonally from one corner to the opposite corner farthest away. So that line that's being drilled would be about like this. And we need to know that length. So that would give us this dotted length right here within one bead. Okay, so I'm going to make a right triangle out of that. Okay, now I know that this is 2 centimeters. But I don't know this length and I don't know this length. Okay, but I do know that this is 2 centimeters and this is 2 centimeters, and I can use those to find this length right here. Okay, so 2 squared plus 2 squared equals c squared. Okay, so that's 4 plus 4, which is 8. 8 equals c squared. Okay, so that means that c is the square root of 8. Now that can be simplified, but I'm actually going to leave it just like that for now. Square root of 8. Okay, so look, we're looking at a real world example here, right? But this is not rounded, this is exact. Okay, I'm leaving this exact because I'm not done yet. I'm going to use it in further calculations, and it's nicer to use exact answers in further calculations. Now when I get to the end, because it's real world, I will give an approximate number. But for now, until I get to the end, I'm going to keep it exact like this. Okay, so I can now find this length right here with the Pythagorean theorem. 2 squared plus the square root of 8 squared equals c squared. Okay, 2 squared is 4. The square root of 8 squared is 8. Put those together, and I get 12. Okay, and then the square root, so c is the square root of 12, and this is when it would be appropriate to get an approximate answer. So the square root of 12 is 3.46. So this length right here is 3.46, which means from here to here is 3.46 centimeters. Now, how many of those would I need to get a length of 5 feet? Okay, so I want 5 feet total, and 5 feet times 12 inches per foot is 60 inches. Okay, so I want this to cover a length of 60 inches. Okay, now how many centimeters is that? 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters, so times 2.54, so 60 times 2.54 is 152.4 centimeters. So what I need to cover in this length of 5 feet is actually 152.4 centimeters. If every single bead is 3.46 centimeters, then I can do 152.4 divided by 3.46 and find that it would take about 44 beads. Okay, now I don't want a decimal. I don't want 44.05 because I'm not going to have 0.05 beads. It's going to take 44 beads to cover that 5 feet, and there will be just a little bit left over.